Nigeria, with a population of over 200 million, is blessed with abundant, fertile land and national resources being tapped. The 4 refineries, which requires crude oil and other products, have not been functional for 5 years, which necessitates importation of required products to the country in trillions. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, on assumption of duty, removed the fuel subsidy that has been a form of concern, although the decision generated mixed reactions from Nigerians. But President Bola Ahmed Tinubu renewed hope agenda introduced palliatives to cushion the suffering faced by Nigerians. How has the effort cushioned the effect of the subsidy removal? These and other issues will come your way on Network Panorama, live from Kaduna Network Center. Glad to have you join us. I am Salamatu Lukman Mohammed. There is a new hope for the majority of about 24 million people with vision loss as the federal government is finalizing a plan with international partners to float a national vision care program in the country. President Bola Tinubu, who received the partners' Peak Vision at the State House, promised a total support for the program. State House correspondent Musbao Danwahab reports.
As a child, I was failing at school, and I was told I was clumsy, I was told I was lazy, I was told I didn't pay attention. And at the age of 12, I was taken for an eye test and found to have very poor eyesight. When they first put on the pair of glasses, they were shocked at how poor my sight was. I was shocked. I could see leaves for the first time on trees. My life completely changed. 2 weeks later, I received my first pair of free glasses on the National Health Service. I saw stars clearly for the first time. My grades all improved, and the trajectory of my life completely changed.
What he calls a cheap intervention gave him a costly opportunity to regain his sight. Professor Basiros had a second chance not only for his sight, but also the vision to unlock his potential.
Some parents might not pay attention to your story, but I do. And I am touched.
It is a meeting of 2 visionaries with track records in vision care. Thousands of people benefited from the Jigi Bola an eye care program he initiated 22 years ago as Lagos State Governor. President Tinubu is now ready to support this project on a national scale.
I am in support. I will encourage the mobilization of fund and commitment to see this through, to reach our vulnerable and the children in our schools.
There is a share of a renewed hope in sight to improve the sight of 90% of those 24 million Nigerians with vision loss and about 1.3 million more with total blindness.
And ultimately the hope is that for children like me, whose opportunities change dramatically, all of the children in Nigeria will have their best opportunity to learn. For all of those who are in the working generation, that they have the best opportunity to earn and provide. And for those in the older age to be well and thrive as they get older. And so we believe if the health budget, if only 1% of it was towards eye health, we could eliminate avoidable blindness in Nigeria within a decade.
It is almost a sealed arrangement with a policy document to incorporate the program now in place.
The vision is to make eye care available, accessible, affordable to every Nigerian so that their potential is not, no one should have their potential minimized because they don't have access to interventions that can be delivered to them. And the President is very committed to improve the welfare of Nigerians today, but also the future of this country, our young ones, women, and also who are vulnerable and marginal in society.
The National Eye Health Program under the Ministry of Health is now expected to work out the pilot program, which is built to commence just this year. From the State House, Musbao Danwahab, NTA News.
This is still Panorama, reaching you from our studios here in Abuja. I am Frama Panyi. We pick up with health matters. Now, federal government has resolved to encourage and improve funding for local research of new drugs and vaccines in line with the renewed hope agenda on health. Coordinating Minister of Health, Professor Muhammad Ali Pate, said this at an event to mark the 2023 African Traditional Medicine Week in Abuja. Basi Ita Ikbang reports.
In recognition of the significance of African traditional medicine and its integral role in enhancing health and well-being across the African continent, experts stressed the need for improved funding and research. They noted this is to leverage the contribution of traditional medicine in the growth of the health sector.
Our approach to optimizing the strength of our traditional medicine and the use of innovation to optimize the contribution of traditional medicine to universal health coverage.
But for today, the traditional medicine has gone to a certain level whereby even the WHO has recognized that 85 to 90% of the world population today depend on traditional medicine.
African traditional medicine, deeply intertwined with indigenous herbalism and rooted in the tapestry of African spirituality and culture, stand as a beacon of accessibility, affordability, and trust for millions across our continent.
This year's theme, the contribution of traditional medicine to holistic health and well-being for all, took the center stage at inaugural 2023 WHO Traditional Medicine Global Summit held in India. The forum activated political commitments and evidence-based action on traditional medicine as a first port of call for millions of people worldwide to address their health needs. Basi Taipan, NTA News.
Away from health matters now, President Bola Tinubu has tasked the United Nations to be more practical in supporting Nigeria in the fight against terrorism in view of the rippling effects on global peace, displacement of people, and rising poverty. In an audience with the Under-Secretary General of the United Nations Office on Counter-terrorism, Mr. Vladimir Voronkov at the State House, President Tinubu noted that terrorism had consistently reversed the gains on development and increased instability in families and communities, but that UN cooperation in dealing with it had always been inconsistent in the developing world. The President, going forward, said global peace and prosperity will demand the swift and comprehensive provision of the right answers to the challenge posed by insurgencies in parts of the world which threaten universal stability. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Yusuf Maitama Tugar, said he had highlighted some of the conditions that promote insurgency, like poverty and injustice, with UN team, while noting the Nigerian government's response. Mr. Voronkov told the President that the UN was planning a counter-terrorism summit in Abuja, slated for April 2024, and it will be largely driven by African nations with an African agenda. Meanwhile, the United Nations Under-Secretary General for Counter-terrorism, Vladimir Voronkov, has commended Nigeria's ongoing fight against terrorism in the sub-region. The visiting UN envoy gave the commendation while on a working visit to the office of the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taurid Lagbaja, in Abuja. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa has details.
That continues to play a leading role in the fight against terrorism in the sub-region through the multinational joint task force. The counter-terrorism campaign is about to assume a new dimension. The United Nations Under-Secretary General for Counter-terrorism is in Nigeria to forge closer ties with the military to further upskill the fight against terrorism in Nigeria and the sub-region.
We need to use this good experience of Nigeria for, the whole globe, and there are many countries which are interested to have this successful experience of fighting terrorism of Nigeria.
The idea of the United Nations Office for Counter-terrorism serving to disseminate our experience is welcome, and we also believe that we need to share from the experience of other countries and other players in the field. so that we can improve on what we do in our country.
The army chief also met with defense attaches and advisors from 27 countries in a view to share ideas and collectively tackle emerging challenges.
We look forward to fruitful engagement with all other countries to deny the criminal elements and dissident groups from incubating their nefarious activities abroad and bringing them home perpetuates.
Nigeria is desirous to see the impact of this collaboration. Ismail Musa, NTA News.
Still talking security matters, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tarid Abiodun Lagbaja, is in Damaturu, the Yobe State capital, on a maiden operational visit to the troops of Sector 2 Joint Task Force Northeast Operation Hadenkai, Damaturu. The Chief of Army Staff was received on arrival by Theatre Commander Major General Sarah Suolanda, Commissioner of Police, Yobe State Command, and other heads of security agencies. Meanwhile, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tarid Lagbaja, says new trends observed in the activities of terrorist elements, including kidnapping, attacks on travelers, and command use of IEDs, will be contained as troops aggressively flush out the insurgents. The Chief of Army Staff stated this while on operational visit to formations under the Joint Task Force Northeast Operation Hadenkai to assess combat efficiency and challenges. Milkat Amalam reports.
The operational tour to headquarters of Operation Hadinkai and sector commands by the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tarid Lagbaja, was an assessment of the security situation to strengthen the ongoing counterinsurgency operations being conducted by troops of the Joint Task Force in the Northeast. Lieutenant General Lagbaja further assured that the Army headquarters will take appropriate actions to address challenges being faced by troops in the theater of operations.
I'm back in the theater this time around for an operational visit, and I've just been briefed by the theater commander on the operational, administrative and other issues in formations and units deployed in the theater.
As part of his engagements during the visit to the headquarters of the Theatre Command in Maiduguri was the inauguration of 30 units, 2-bedroom self-contained accommodation. The Chief of Army Staff is expected to move to other sectors of operation in Mongono, Northern Borno and Damaturu in Yobe State to interact with the troops and also assess the security situation in the area. In Maiduguri, Milka Damalam, NTA News.
Now, President Bola Tinubu will participate in the G20 summit holding in New Delhi, India on the 9th and 10th of September. Regardless of Nigeria not being a member of the group, President Tinubu has still been invited as one of the special guests at the events. While at the summit, the president will engage world and business leaders. The special advisor on media and publicity to the president, Ajuri Ngelale, says the Nigerian leader will leverage the summit to enhance his plan to address the issues of unemployment and attract foreign and direct investment to the country.
The focus of the summit will be heavily predicated on the urgent need to attract foreign direct investment in country and to ensure that we are able to mobilize private capital from around the world toward the development of Nigeria's public infrastructure. In addition to that, we are focused on engagements that will be dealing with critical sectors of the national economy, involving steel development, involving electricity generation, transmission and distribution, involving shipyard building capacity, and involving several other industries which we know to be labor intensive to ensure that we can create as many jobs for our teeming youth population as possible.
The now federal government has recalled Nigeria's High Commissioner to the United Kingdom, Ambassador Sarafa Ishola, over tenure expiration. A letter by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Yusuf Tugar, notes that by this communication, the ambassador is now expected to commence the process of winding down affairs and take formal leave of his host government within 60 days and to return to Nigeria by 31st October 2023. The minister extended the president's appreciation and thanked him for his exemplary leadership and service to the nation, as well as prayed for continued guidance in his future endeavors. We'll take a short break. Panorama continues shortly.
The Council of Our Fathers.
I will urge and advise our younger generation to use talent and brain to sort out problems, not arms.
Nigerian youths, let's build our nation.
My advice to these young people is please do not take us back to those harrowing days. You probably do not know what it is.
I believe we have fought one civil war too many in this country. So those who experience it will run away from it.
Nigerian youths, let's build our nation together.
Thanks for staying tuned. Now, the federal government has expressed readiness to support and facilitate investments that align with Nigeria's economic priorities to drive inclusive growth. The Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, gave the assurance while sharing his vision on the state of the nation's economy. Nneka Oko reports that the state of revenue generation as well as nation's oil and gas sectors were also brought to the fore.
The finance minister at the press briefing left no room for doubt regarding the priority placed on private investment by the federal government. He highlighted private investment as a catalyst for economic growth, job creation, and poverty reduction.
And worldwide, there are huge flows of foreign direct investment once you give investors the right conditions.
The minister also disclosed plans to strengthen tax administration and eliminate linkages in the system, in addition to ensuring effective debt management and efficiency in government expenditure.
Plan for the economy is economic growth, job creation, access to capital, particularly consumer credit that makes goods affordable to the average Nigerian.
The Group Managing Director of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, Mele Kyari, speaks on the state of the nation's oil and gas sector.
This industry can't grow except some enablers are in place. And I also confirm that Mr. President has taken significant steps to bottleneck the industry such a way that those resources can come on place.
With robust reform initiatives and a focus on strategic sectors, the government aims to drive inclusive growth and create a conducive environment for domestic and foreign investment in the country. In Abuja, Nneka Oko, NTA News.
World Coconut Day is celebrated every year on September 2 to promote the importance of coconuts and their contributions to various aspects of life, including the economy, agriculture, and health. The day also aims to raise awareness about the benefits of coconut cultivation and consumption. The theme of this year's World Coconut Day is Sustaining Coconut Sector for the Present and Future Generation. World Coconut Day was first celebrated by the Asian and Pacific Coconut Community on September 2, 2009. The date was chosen because it is the anniversary of the establishment of the Asian and Pacific Coconut Community in 1969. Asia and Pacific Coconut Community is an intergovernmental organization functioning under the United Nations Economic and Social Commissions for Asia and Pacific. The kernel, as the flesh of coconut, is an excellent fruit to consume, loaded with benefits. Coconuts are used in a range of dishes. Coconut milk and oil are also extracted from the fruit. Used both for cooking and nourishing the hair and face, coconut oil makes for a healthy alternative to other cooking oils. Coconut milk is a very important ingredient in a range of cuisines. Coconut water is a healthy beverage as well. Into other news, the Minister of Works, David Umahi, is proposing a new target for contractors handling federal road projects across the country, where they will sign a written agreement stipulating that roads constructed by them will last for at least 30 years. The minister stated this at the palace of the Ooni of Ife, where he paid homage to during his inspection of federal roads in Osun State. Femi Afariogun has details.
Destination of his inspection of federal roads in Southwest, the Minister of Works, David Umahi, inspected Mayfair Junction, Lagere, Iremo, and Nua Ilesha Bypass Road in Osun State. Starting from Ilefe, the 22-kilometer road project, awarded in the year 2010, is just at 46% completion due to inadequate budgetary allocation and unresolved compensation to houses demolished. At the palace of Ooni of Ife, Obainito Ogunwusi, the minister lamented the rate at which road projects fail, promising to ensure speedy completion of the project.
And within 5 years, the road is gone. So there's no nation that can progress with this kind of arrangement. You know, we are just going round. You know, so much, motions and yet no movement. So people are, frustrating me by giving me very unreasonable concrete price. I will not stop them from doing asphalt, but there must be a commitment. For 30 years, the road will not fail.
The Ooni of Ife, Obainito Ogunwusi, appealed to federal government to speed up work on the road.
Well, we will see how to make it, to get an instruction for the demolition, because
we've done. I went to supervise it myself.
You've done already.
Done. No issue concerning that. It's embarrassing.
It's a parody.
I see it's like a war-torn environment.
The minister also inspected part of Ibadan-Ife Ilesha Expressway. Femi Afariogun, NTA News.
And in a similar development, the federal government is taking steps towards reviewing the contractual agreement signed with contractors handling federal roads in Ogun State and delivering a new beginning of critical infrastructure development for Nigerians under the renewed hope administration of President Bola Tinubu. Minister of Works David Umahi stated this in Abeokuta during his working visit to Ogun State. Yemi Dalemo reports.
The Minister of Works, Dave Umahi's visit to Ogun State is to have first-hand information on the state of the federal roads in the area. Governor Dapo Abiodun, while briefing the minister, expressed displeasure over the deplorable condition of federal roads in the state.
We just want to implore you to help us look at this long list of roads that we have. Understand terrain. You've done this before. There's no this is not a trial and error for you.
Minister of Works, Dave Umahi, assured that a new beginning in critical infrastructure development in Nigeria is here under the Tinubu-led administration, and informed that the federal government will review all agreements signed with the contractors handling various federal roads across the state with a view to deliver quality road infrastructure.
Also authoritatively introduce concrete road pavements to Your Excellency as the way build, enduring road projects, and also cut down on our pressure on dollar. And we employ more people, we develop more cement factories in Nigeria.
The minister inspected the 42 kilometers Abeokuta-Ajibo road, where he said 10 kilometers out of the road will be dualized with drainage on both sides. He also inspected Section 2 of the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway from Shagamu Interchange to Ojo-Ibadan area in Abeokuta. Yemi Dalimo, NTA News.
The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, is pushing for drug integrity tests as part of criteria for gaining employment, with the chairman of NDLEA, Buba Marwa, saying it will mark a major step towards curbing illicit drugs in the country. This was part of a lecture at the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies, NIPS Kuru. Sa'adatu Muhammad Kafa reports.
His presentation, titled Industrialization, Energy and Climate Change, the Role of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency. The chairman, National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Buba Marwa, represented, notes that criminal activities are drug-related. making government to spend huge resources to combat the menace.
That all the activities you can see in this country, rape, cultism, Boko Haram, banditry, agitation, kidnapping, all the central, the mover, the catalyst is the drug abuse and activities. So the dimension is devastating.
With an estimate of 10.6 million Nigerians abusing cannabis, he says the substance is majorly homegrown in large scale, hence affecting not only the citizens, but the ecosystem. The chairman advocated school-based drug prevention program, institutionalizing drug integrity tests before gaining employment, and need for security agencies to collaborate in fighting the menace.
There is hope, and the only hope is when all agree to put hand in deck to do that, and he should be given more support to achieve that.
Participants made these submissions.
Population explosion adds to it, and our porous borders also add to all this.
In Jos, Saadat Muhammad Kafa, NTA News.
And that concludes Panorama today. We thank you for being a part of it. Do enjoy the rest of your day.